Everyone, hopefully you have collected your clock yesterday when your mum and dad collected your reading books from school, because your clock will really help you today. I've got my big clock, you should have your little mini one. Anyway, let's do a little recap of yesterday. Yesterday we were learning about o'clock times, and that was quite simple. When we know we have an o'clock time, the long minute hand must be pointing up to 12 because it's 0 minutes past the hour. And the little short red hand, the hour hand, will be pointing to whatever o'clock it is. So, for example, we have here 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Now, if I want to move this clock onto 3 o'clock, I do one full spin of my minute hand around the clock, and that'll be 60 minutes, 1 hour. So watch when I do that. When I spin my blue one, 60 minutes, 1 hour, it takes me to 3 o'clock. So everyone have a go now. Everyone try and make me 11 o'clock on your clock, okay? I'll do it too, and we'll see if we get the same. Okay. Did anyone else get this? Well done if you did. Okay, we'll try another one. 7 o'clock. So you get yourself on to 7 o'clock. We have 7 o'clock. Our minute hand up at 12 and our hour hand pointing to 7. We'll do one more, we'll do 4 o'clock. So everyone get your clocks, spin them round to 4 o'clock. Okay, well done if you got 4 o'clock as well, okay. So today we're looking at half past times. So obviously our clock faces a circle. In 1 hour, the minute hand travels all around the circle. And yesterday, we counted up in fives to show that there's 60 minutes in an hour, and you can see those little numbers. We don't need to know them too much today, but let's count up in fives anyways, practice. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. There are 60 minutes in an hour. So the minute hand moves the whole way around the circle. That'll be 1 hour or 60 minutes. Okay. Now, this full circle can be split into 2 halves, and I'm sure you could all do that because we did fractions not long ago. So let's see what happens when we split this into 2 halves. It takes half an hour for the minute hand to travel halfway around the circle. Now, if this big minute hand, the long one, is pointing at 12, where do you think it will be pointing if we want to cut this circle clock face in half? Now, I've actually already cut it in quarters. If you look carefully, I've got lines in mine. If we want to cut it in half, where do you think that blue one's going to travel to? Well, let's watch and see on our... Maybe you can have a go now. You put your blue hand where you think it's going to be if it travels halfway. So everyone start on 5 o'clock, okay? Everyone put your clock on 5 o'clock now. And I want you to spin this one, what you think is halfway around your clock. So not the full way around, only half of the journey. And remember, when we're moving our clock hands, they only move one direction. They can't move left. They have to move to your right in a clockwise motion. Okay, clockwise means the real way of a clock. So you're following the numbers in the real order that they would be counting up in, okay? So let's go. Hopefully you've done that now. Let's have a look on the screen and see what happens when that minute hand travels halfway around the clock. Oh, well done if you got it. It stops at 6. This is half the clock, and that's the other half of the clock. So if I move that round, it will start at 6. And look, 30 minutes. 30 minutes is half of 60 minutes. So that's why we know we've gone halfway around the clock. Okay. When half an hour has gone past, we say the time is half past the hour. So instead of saying 5 o'clock, I would say half past 5, because you can see that our hand is now gone, it's not on 5 anymore, it's actually gone past 5. So that's important to bear in mind, okay? So our clock has just moved to a time here. It's moved clockwise to the right, and we have a time on this clock. We had half past, because it's halfway around, half past 3. Now it's not half past 4 because it hasn't gone past 4. Remember, the clock is ticking like this, so it's just gone past 3 because we're going this direction. So we've got half past 3 there. And in another half an hour, it would take us back to the full hour. So it would be back to 4 o'clock. So 3 o'clock, We went halfway around the clock to 3:30, and then we went another halfway around the clock to 4 o'clock. So let's look at some more. When the time is half past the hour, the minute hand will point to the 6. So if it's o'clock, it's up to 12. If it's half past, it's down to 6. The hour hand will be halfway between one number and the next. So the minute hand here is pointing to 6, and this hour hand is halfway between 7 and 8. But we have to think, which way is it ticking? Well, the clock's ticking this way, so it's just gone past 7. So the time is 7:30. 7:30. Let's look at another one. So here we know it's half past because our minute hand started at 6, and our hour hand is in between 1 and 2, but we're thinking, which way is it ticking? Tick, 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 tick. It's ticking that direction. Has it gone past 1 or just gone past 2? Is that one 1:30 or 2:30? Shout out what you think at home. Let's have a check and see if you got it right. The time is 1:30 because it hasn't gone past 2 yet, okay? Let's look at another one. So we have here, 1/2 something. Look at our numbers. Which way is that ticking? Remember the ticking, tick, 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 ticking around the clock. It's in between 11 and 12. If it's in between 11 and 12, what time is it on that clock? It's ticking. I'm going to make it on my clock. Remember, watch it ticking. If it's ticking that way, it is going to the clockwise. So it's just gone past 11 because remember, we're going in a clockwise motion. So that one is 11:30, or some people say 11:30, but we're going to look at digital clocks next week. 11:30. Okay. What's this one then? What do we think this one is at home? Well, we know it's 1/2. It's in between 8 and 9. So is it 8:30 or 9:30? It's 8:30 because it hasn't gone past 9 yet, okay? It's halfway between them, but that people do get confused, so be very careful when you're doing your work with that, okay? So let's have a go of some questions. So which clock is showing? I've got 3 clocks here. Which one is showing 2:30? So look at these 3 clocks. Which one do you think is showing 2:30? The numbers. Well, they all have past time, so that's going to be easy. The important thing we need to look at is the hour hand and where it is. Well done if you've spotted that this 3rd clock is 2:30 because it's in between 2 and 3 and it's just gone past the 2, okay? Which clock is showing 9:30? So we've only got 2 to choose from. Well, that one's in between 7 and 8 and that one's in between 9 and 10, so we know this one's just gone past 9, 9:30. And our last one is 7:30. Okay, it's feeding time at the zoo. Can you help Sam work out which animal she needs to feed on? So we've got some times here. They're written in words this time. And we have our clock. So let's look at our clock. So we know it's 1/2 and it's between 9 and 10. We have to think which way that's ticking. Well, we know it's ticking clockwise, so it's only just gone past 9. So we are 9:30. Which animal is 9:30 on our display? Well done if you spotted. 9:30 is the snake. Okay, let's go for another one. Okay, let's look at our time. So we have 1/2. We're in between 3 and 4. Which number have we gone past? Well done if you spotted. It's 3:30. It's the monkey. Okay. So this one we are 1/2 and we're in between 11 and 12, but we know we're ticking, so we've just gone past 11, 11:30. Which animal is showing 11:30? Is that like a platypus or something? Strange animal anyway. We'll do one more. So we've got 1/2. What have we just gone past? We know we're going clockwise. We are in between 12 and 1. Is it 12:30 or 1/2? Well, we can see the hour hand hasn't gone past 1 yet, so we are actually on 12:30. Okay, so guys, we come out of this onto your seesaw. You have, first of all, I would go on your Education City account. You have a 1/2 game to play, which will help you hopefully when you get to doing your work. Then here you've got this activity. You have to match the labels to the right clock. And then there is a missing, where is it? There's a missing label and you have to work out which clock that is going with. And sorry, you have to make up your own time because the clock's actually blank as well. The clock is blank and the label's blank, so you have to make up your own half-past time, write it in words on the label, and draw the hands on your clock. Now remember, be careful, because when you're drawing the hands, we want the longer hand, the minute hand, to be going down to 6 if it's a half-past time, and the hour hand to look a little bit shorter and to be in between. We don't want it to look like 11:30 and that hour. If I'm doing 11:30, I don't want that hour hand to be exactly at 11. I want it to be just past it, halfway between. If it's 11:30, it's going to be in between 11 and 12. If it's 10:30, it's going to be in between 10 and 11, okay? So be careful with that. Then you've got another activity, and this one nice and easy. You have to draw the hands on, read the times, and draw the hands on. So best of luck with that. Hopefully you enjoy your little clocks. Have a little play around with your clock, and a good game you can play at home is What's the Time, Mr. Wolf?